and I wanted to approach it in two phases. First, how to think about e-commerce in general, and then come into how to think about m-commerce or mobile commerce. So first of all, e-commerce is one area which everybody talks about, but not a lot of people understand about the nuances, not just in India, but anywhere in the world. People have lot of perceptions about e-commerce, and they are very they stick to those perceptions. And what we have seen is like when the waves change, these perceptions change a lot. And we at Voonik have gone through this. When we started the company in 2013, it was a very down period for e-commerce. Pretty much there was a bloodbath. Lot of e-commerce companies were shutting down, and we saw how people were negative about e-commerce. And then, like in 2015, suddenly there was a great euphoria about e-commerce. And back again in 2016 and continuing 2017, we are seeing people being again very negative about e-commerce, right? So, what's happening here? There are offline players who say that e-commerce will never make money. Even there are people within the startups who believe that e-commerce will never be a profitable business model. And how do we go about perceiving this? How do we go about interpreting this, right? I think the challenge with the e-commerce is probably this is one of the online models which has a lot of interactions with the offline side. If you're dealing with something like a social network like a Facebook or a WhatsApp, or if you're dealing with something which is purely online, you need to worry only about the aspects of an online business model. You think about your differentiation, you think about your customer acquisition, you think about the network effects, you think about the customer lock-in, and you pretty much follow the rules of an online business model, which is there is pretty much going to be only one winner. The winner takes all. So Google is number one in search, who is number two? Facebook is number one in social network, who is number two? Right? So you follow the dynamics. The moment you hit like 60-70% market share, or you end up creating a market, you know that this is going to be a monopoly game and the winner is going to take all, and you focus on differentiation, customer experience, lock-in and network effect. On the other side, let's say you are dealing with offline, you think about efficiency. How do I procure the items? How do I procure items at the lowest cost? How do I operationalize it with the best operational efficiency and operational excellence that I can get? And how do I go about making money with the thin margins that I can make in a e-retail, in an offline retail, right? The truth is, we have seen a lot of evidences on the offline, how people start and become profitable. You have seen DMart IPO. There are so many players who have proved that you can operate offline retail efficiently. So you believe that business model. Unfortunately, in e-commerce, people are still looking for that example. There's only one, which is Amazon. And even in Amazon, like they have so many other businesses, like AWS to Kindle to Amazon Prime TV. It confuses people, and nobody's sure if this business model can become profitable. But the reality is, as long as you are efficient, as long as you are patient, it requires a lot of investment. E-commerce, once it becomes profitable, as it becomes profitable, it gives you a huge moat, because it's not very easy for somebody to just come and start an e-commerce company and then like come and compete against you and win over you. So it's a business model which gives you a huge moat, which is what every business model is in search of, right? So now the truth is what's happening all over the world. I just read that in the last 3 months, more than 14 of the e-commerce chains have filed for bankruptcy. The names that we are very familiar with, Payless, Jimbori, everybody is filing for bankruptcy. What's happening with Macy's, Sears, Kmart, right? Name a company, J. Crew, JCPenney. Everybody is going through turmoil. They're calling it as retail apocalypse. That's going to happen in India as well. It's just the timing is going to be different. The simple litmus test is, are people moving from offline to online? Or are they moving from online to offline? The acquisition rate might be small. Maybe in 1 year, the rate of people who move from offline to online might have come down. But the reality is, as long as offline is not taking market share away from online, the reverse is going to be true. People are going to move from offline to online. So while some of the offline players might be comfortable today thinking about the demise of Jabong or a Snapdeal, what they don't understand is, like, over a long period of time, it is inevitable that customers are going to move to online. So for all e-commerce players like us, it's just a matter of time. We have to be patient. We have to make sure that we do the right investments. We have to create the right efficiency. The only challenge is we have to understand both the worlds, online and offline. We have to understand about offline retail. We have to understand merchandising. We have to understand about sourcing. We have to understand about delivery. We have to understand about customer experience. On the other hand, like in online, we have to think about customer acquisition, lock-in, network effect. But other than that, we know that it's just a matter of time before every customer is going to move to e-commerce, right? So that's about e-commerce. When you come to mobile commerce, the most interesting part is even big players like Amazon don't get it. I have heard from my friends at Amazon that even as early as 2015, when Amazon India team travels to Amazon US and talks about, I need these features for mobile, people don't understand. People are not believing that mobile is going to be the medium where majority of purchase will happen. As late as like 2015, I think Flipkart did a good thing to Amazon by becoming mobile only. That made it easier for Amazon India team to convince Amazon US. But the truth is, to understand why someone like an Amazon, who has spent like almost 20 years now in e-commerce, is unable to believe this mobile commerce, unable to envision this mobile commerce, we have to understand the evolution of mobile commerce. First, it started with intent commerce. You want to search for something, you have an intent. You want to buy a Nike shoe, you just search for it and you buy. That's what Amazon started with. It started with books and then expanded to other categories. Today, Amazon is very good at that. Amazon does more product searches than even Google. People don't start from Google anymore for product searches, right? So that was the first phase of m-commerce, which is the intent, which Amazon nailed it. Then we moved on to the personalized commerce, where you see these recommendations for you. People bought this, also bought, based on your items in the cart. Amazon stopped there. It never went beyond those first two stages. But when you look at other companies, either in US or Chinese companies like Alibaba, Tencent, they were able to move beyond that, and that's where mobile commerce becomes key. So from personalized commerce, the next revolution was happening in the form of impulse purchases, impulse commerce. Now it takes multiple factors, right? Multiple forms. In US, you see companies like Polyvore, which allows user to create online scrapbooks and allows people to share that. They were getting like hundreds of millions of users. There are companies like Vanilo, which allows user to create list of items and then share. Then there were companies like Fab, Guild, which were focusing on items which are like each one had their own differentiation in terms of the items that they brought to the table. But here Amazon did not have any play. Nobody had any play. In fact, this becomes a lot more important in fashion, because nobody comes to a fashion commerce portal looking for something. They don't come with an idea that I'm going to buy this little black dress, or I'm going to come with buy this white checked shirt. They are looking for inspirations. They are looking, and the purchases are going to be impulse based. So this is an area where Chinese companies took a big leap. They were able to get social media celebrities. They were able to get like what Tencent did with WeChat. They were able to take this social angle. They were able to take this impulse angle, and they were able to, primarily why Amazon was not able to think about that was mobile was not getting the same adoption like in China in those phases. So Amazon completely lost it, which Alibaba and Tencent gained it, right? And then like comes the fourth. Now if you look at like what is happening is people have moved away from impulse commerce and they are moving into video commerce. If you had been in any conferences outside India, you will hear like how Tencent, Alibaba have moved away from catalog commerce and they have moved into the short form videos. Now the bridge between content and commerce has been like demolished. You go, you watch an engaging video, and these are short form videos, 30 seconds to maximum 2 minutes, web series. And these are shoppable videos. You shop based on whatever you saw, whatever was engaging for you. Well, but the question remains, if Amazon has stopped at the second stage while we are in stage 4, how come it is still winning? How come nobody is able to compete with Amazon, right? The fact is, this is an evolution. The reason why Alibaba is able to win or make this work is because they were going through that evolution. When you take someone like let's take a Polyvore or a Vanilo, who directly start from stage 3, which is they are very good at social commerce, they are very good at making people share, they are very good at creating viral content, which is either viral scrapbooks or viral lists. But they don't know how to make the commerce work. Nobody is going to, maybe you have something like a fashion and you are a guild or a fab. You like an item, but you are not willing to wait for like 2 months to get that item. Selection, price, and convenience doesn't go away. They still become the basic pillar. And on top of that, you build the next 3 things, right? When companies like Polyvore, Vanilo, and other social commerce companies came up, or other impulse commerce companies came up, they completely missed that part. So they failed. Almost all the companies in stage 3 failed. But that doesn't take away the truth that Amazon doesn't know how to do that, and it has not yet moved there. Same thing will happen in stage 4. If somebody today comes up, looks at this short form video revolution in China and starts a company which shows videos, what will happen? Like, they will still fail because they can figure out the engagement part, but they have to still figure out the commerce part, where you have to toil for like 5-10 years to create the right selection, right price, and the right delivery. So that's where like these companies are failing. Nobody's understanding that it has to come from there. You cannot just start from those stages, right? So, but the way how we see mobile commerce at Voonik is this way. We have moved from these stages, and when we went with our impulse purchase, when we created a shoppable Tinder-like feed, we did make sure that personalization was there, and the basic intent was there. Intent commerce was still there. Selection, price, and convenience was there. And in few weeks, we will also be announcing our move to video commerce, where we will still do that. You will see very engaging short form videos, but more importantly, you will see very, very good selection of products associated with those videos when they become shoppable, along with the right price, and we will deliver it to you in the right time. And that efficiency we have built over last 4 years before we go into the next phase of this mobile commerce. So I think that's the time I have. Maybe I have another 30 more seconds. So if there's any, I can probably take one question. Okay, thanks guys. Thank you.
I think that was a great talk. Thank you so much, Sujayath. I request you to please stay back on stage, and I request Mercy from GMASA to present Sujayath with a memento. Thank you for those gentlemen. If you're tweeting and sharing, the hashtag is GMASA. And on Twitter, if you're participating in the selfie contest, which you all should, do tag us with that, not just with the hashtag, but also